Alright, y'all, I'm loving it right now. I gotta admit, what's going on with all these people with the welfare and the whole Trump agenda and welfare, I'm loving it. I'm loving the videos of people, these welfare mamas and shit throwing a fucking fit. It is hilarious to me. And right now I'm not too happy with Trump with a number of things that he's been doing with Iran and Israel and whatnot, but I gotta say this is one thing I absolutely love. And here's the deal. I've been poor most of my life. I've been on welfare. Yeah, there's a need for it, but I don't agree with the system we have at all. I don't agree with just handing people over an EBT card and letting them go buy whatever the hell they want. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't believe with the cash aid, the way they do it. I don't agree with that. I believe it should be very limited. It should be basically the way it used to be, back in before the 80s when you got the vouchers for government cheese and beans and whatnot, and they made you go take classes on how to prepare meals and how to stretch your food and whatnot and make it last. That's the way I think it should, more like that. But this whole thing with just handing people an EBT card and letting them go buy whatever the hell they want, especially, I've seen the abuse. I've witnessed it personally. It is disgusting. I've witnessed neighbors of mine selling their food stamps every month, and then their kids are starving. Like, the abuse is absolutely disgusting, And I've been that one over and over where I'm at the grocery store, budgeting, trying to do what I can to save money. Got a few items in the basket, and then I get up to the register, and you see the person in front of you, 5 kids, 6 kids, 7 kids with them, and they got 2-3 baskets overflowing with, all name brand good shit, and they pull out that EBT card, and then you see them out in the parking lot, and they're loading it into an Escalade, and you're just like, what in the hell is going on? This is sickening. This is ridiculous. That's not what our system is meant to be. And and it's made, not only that, it's made people lazy. People get on it and they don't want to go work. They just want to live off the system. And so, I completely, and not only that, you see the majority, it's funny because the majority of obese people, a huge majority are on welfare. So obviously they're getting way too much. They're getting way too much, sugary foods and shit that is bad for them and causing them to be fat. So I completely agree with this shit. I would even take it a step further personally. They want to elect a communist in New York who talks about, doing government-run grocery stores. Okay, let's do government-run grocery stores. Let's open up specific grocery stores in each city that are for EBT only. And in those stores are just the basic foods, generic foods, and all healthy options. No, maybe okay, I'll get, maybe allow them a 12-pack of the most generic soda there is. Maybe a sugar wafer as a dessert here, and a couple of them, not a lot, just maybe allow something like that. But it should be, like I said, specific stores, and that's where they have to shop. There shouldn't be, here's an EBT card, go whatever store you want, go spend it all at the liquor store where they have a 200% markup, and blow all your money on junk food at the liquor store. It shouldn't be like that. No, it should be, let's open up some government grocery stores that are for EBT only. And that's the only place you can use them. That's the way I see it.